Welcome to a brand new episode of the Oracles. This is episode 59. Yeah, episode 59. We've been away. We're supposed to be somewhere in the 60s by now. Supposed to be somewhere in the 60s, but because of issues that are beyond our control, we had to, had to stay away for a couple of weeks. But we are here today. My name is Manelisi, and this is the Oracles. And with me is the beautiful, the superstar Oracle, Z Mazibugo. Z, how you doing?
I'm well, thank you. How are you, Manelisi?
I'm awesome. I am awesome. So, quite a lot has been happening in the last couple of weeks, and there's a lot that we haven't been able to cover. There's a lot that we haven't been able to talk about, but we are here today and we're going to cover quite a few. Now, my biggest thing that I want to talk about today is the Diddy case.
I knew it.
Yeah.
You saw that side eye, okay? Just like he's going. He's going.
That's the biggest one that I want to talk to. It's the main thing that I want to talk about. There's also tomorrow Big Zulu is dropping an album. There's actually
Tomorrow? Oh, God, why did I think the 27th is on Friday? Because let me tell you, I joined the stream on Facebook, but it ended. It ended before I could continue with the stream because I saw they doing the live stream from Spitz.
they're doing
So
the
it
album
ended
launch.
just as I joined. I think there was a network issue because they said it's going to stream from 6 until 9. I joined it at 7, but there was no audio, no video. In my head, though, I thought the 27th was on Friday because I think we've been programmed to albums and songs dropping on a Friday.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that tomorrow I'm waking up to a new Big Zulu album? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Tomorrow.
Silently the happiest girly. Silently the happiest girly.
Yeah, so tomorrow Big Zulu is dropping his album. I'm actually cracking my head because I saw the album title a bit earlier. I don't know if you still remember what it is.
What was the first part? I know the second part. The second part is Ngises'congweni, right? What's the first part?
Yeah.
But I know that he's dropping tomorrow.
Yeah,
on the 27th, rather.
Yeah, the 27th. And I think, I may be wrong, but I think Ikonile also dropped on a Wednesday or somewhere in between.
Now that I think back, yes. Now that I think back, because the minute you were like tomorrow, I'm like, no, man. I remember, I stand to be corrected, but I think Manelisi dropped during the week. If it was on a Wednesday, it was probably a Thursday.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Yeah, because I remember it was a bit of an awkward day, somewhere in between the week where he dropped the Cornelenyo. So that is an album, and that's the album that is dropping tomorrow. Oh, the album is Ngises'congweni.
Ngises'congweni, yeah, I see it now.
Yeah, that's the name of the album, Ngises'congweni. I don't even know what that means. Do you know what that means?
I was about to ask. I
have no idea.
Heck is.
I have no idea. We should have watched the
What's church in Hossa?
No, it's not. It's Owen.
Okay, so it's not that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
in there. We
I
must
don't-
find out. We'll hear it in the album.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure it's going to explain in some singles.
Yeah, because I actually missed the start of the album launch because it's live on Facebook. I missed it, so I suppose that he should have explained what the title of the album is, but we actually missed that. And before we actually started recording, I was watching a bit of the launch. He actually has some visuals to the album already, unless he just recorded it for tonight. Yeah, as a promo for tonight. I think there's a song on there. I think it might be track 3 or something, where he's talking about marrying his brother's wife. yeah, I guess because the brother has passed on or whatever, or no, it's not because the brother has passed on. Or maybe it is because the brother has passed on without
Usually that's what
having
happens, yes.
yeah, without having taken a wife. So basically in
At times they
when it's
even
10.
take the wife, but then make sure nah the brother I'm getting. Don't ask me why,
Yeah.
but yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's basically talking about that. A lot of the women were contending that entire idea. I saw the women that were in attendance. They were
Yeah.
contending that entire idea of taking his brother's wife. But it was say that's what happens. That's what happens.
It
And
does.
yeah, he's a cultural man. He's
Yeah.
heavy
Very.
into culture. Yeah, so
Very.
yeah, even on the album cover, Ngises'congweni, he's wearing his traditional attire on there, and even the
I feel like
title
the entire
itself.
feel of the album, from the snippets that I've heard, they more Big Zulu the Maskandi artist than
Yeah,
they are Big Zulu the rap. Yes, it's snippets, so obviously I can't judge it based off that because there's like 14 tracks on it. So
is
even the
it?
first song, Umfokas Msizane is as a Maskandi artist,
Yeah,
So there's Ukacheni as well. Kacheni is a Maskandi artist. There's Makadzi, there's Ngobi leans onto everything. So I think there's gonna be a variety, but I think it's more traditional more than anything. From what
yeah,
I've seen and heard so far.
and it's interesting that Java is not on here.
It is, but I'm not mad. The reason why I'm
Uh,
saying this, I really feel like they already gave us an album together, right?
yeah,
And I feel like if you can feature other artists, why not? You don't
yeah,
always have to go to that combo that people love. I mean, as I think I've said this once before in the podcast. So it's Umngobi excuse me, I didn't know Umngobi until Big Zulu dropped his album. What album was that again? The one with Ontsige Mazwa. Forgot the title of the album. But there's a song there where he featured Ngobiazo Ivumadlos. That was a big song. A
yeah,
lot of us didn't know Ngobi, right? And we were introduced to him like that. Even here he's featured. And I feel like if you can do that, I'm seeing Linda the vocalist as well. I feel like if you can do that, you don't need to go back to what you know will definitely work. Bring other people on. So honestly, I'm not mad.
yeah. So yeah, it makes because Big Zulu is also not on Java's album either.
Yes.
Yeah, so and it goes back also. I think we've talked about this where artists may have close friends within the industry or in the same genre or whatever, but they don't necessarily always feature in the albums because
Yeah.
an album is a completely different animal from any other thing. And it
Correct.
has to have like a certain purpose. It has to have a certain sound. It has to have a certain message that the artist trying to convey. So sometimes it's just a timing thing, I guess, where you just don't have that song where I want to feature this person.
This person,
So Big
correct.
Zulu just didn't have that song where he wanted to, or rather he needed to feature Java in. But if they had that, if there was a particular sound that he wanted on the album, which Java could get on, I believe that he could have been
He would
in
have.
there.
Yeah. I really believe so too. And also when you think back to Inkabi Zezwe, that entire album, it's literally just them, and it wasn't dropped like a long time ago. It's still like
Yeah,
a fresh thing.
yeah,
So I feel like had we heard Ushjava on here, automatically we're going to go back to that album and feel like we're listening to the same thing.
so, yeah,
So I'm really glad that actually good I'm feature her. Now that I think about it, I'm glad that he didn't feature him.
yeah. Yeah, because it will be almost like a snippet of the album, and
Exactly.
we are past that. I mean, if we want to listen to both of them on the same song, we'll go back to the album, and
Yes.
it's an album that isn't even old yet. Doesn't feel old. You can go
Exactly.
back to it at any time. So yeah, but also it's very
Even
interesting.
his own circle, not circle, but even his own record label, man. I'm not saying Olwa here, I'm not saying Osiantuli. And again, as much as he could still put them on further, like more than he already has,
Yeah,
I like that he didn't feature them on his own because they have a joint album as in Gabi Records that I
Y-
feel like it still deserves more airplay. So if you featured them here, I feel like it was going to sound like Inkabi Zezwe, the one with the Inkabi Records, and this one, it was going to sound like one album when you listen to
yeah,
it.
yeah. That's true. But also on the second song on the album is called Ingabi Nation. So I suppose that pretty much everyone is going to be on there, or at least I don't know,
Feature somewhere.
a few,
But I'm
yeah,
glad that that's
a few
just
of them are
it
on there.
because I imagine there's 14 tracks. If on the first one here, Sia, on the fourth one here, Rulwa, on the other one here, it's going to be like a lot in a sense of it's going to feel like it's a combination album more than
Yeah,
it is a Big Zulu album.
yeah, but yeah, I find it interesting that it's got Makazi featuring twice
Twice.
on back-to-back songs. I find it
Like
quite
not the
interesting.
last two songs because I don't like it. I love Makazi. Anyone knows me that knows that I love Makazi, right? And it's weird because I have nerves, guys. I can't stand like noise.
Yeah,
And Makazi is loud, but I enjoy Makazi. But it being back to back like this, I don't know how I feel about that. But I mean, in a few hours we'll find out.
yeah, we'll find out then. We'll find out then. But I'm also looking forward to hear, is it track 5? Yeah, track 5, Ngalo Pumelel, which is featuring Zakwe. It's a feature. I don't know how that is going to come out or how it came out. I don't know how that's going to sound because they're
I'm
both
actually
very,
positive about it. I'm actually very
yeah,
positive about it.
yeah,
I feel like it's gonna give us what we need. They're very. Well, I think another reason why I like their music so much, I am very big into not necessarily just storytelling, but essence in music. Right. For me, when I hear a message, I fall in love with the music, with the song, and everything. And Zawe is incredibly good in that, in doing that. Zawe will tell a story, and also he will give you meaning behind the song.
yeah,
Like Ngati is always preaching, but just on a beat, And also with Big Zulu has a lot of not necessarily just life lessons, but he has seen a lot and he's experienced a lot, and he's able to relay that through his music. So I feel like the combination, I'm looking forward to it. I really feel like it's going to be one good feature.
yeah. The thing is about both Zagwe and Big Zulu is that they're both lyrical.
Yes.
They're both they're just on another planet. So having them on the same track together, I don't know about how it might feature on the album, but just generally a track with both of them together. I feel like it's just going to be a lyrical feast for us. It's going to be beautiful to listen to, and that also leads me to another question, which is something that I saw on Twitter. But we'll talk about that after talking about the album. But yeah, this is just. It's an interesting it's an interesting feature list basically, because I also see Mlindo on there. Yeah, Zehlise Makwapeni. I'm looking forward to hear what that is going to be
Hey,
about.
Gulini editing nje sibancane. Because also, I think now I'm thinking back to Mlindo's album when he was still. Oh, guys, I really miss Mlindo's music so much. Mlindo gave us one of the best albums in this country, guys. If you look back, give us one of the best
Yo,
albums. With that Amablesa albums, Osbahle, Egoli, guys. So I really hear him on Makwapeni. He's going to relay a story again. Remember how Osbahle
yeah.
Bamtata? It's going to be the same thing.
Yo, And the thing is, what's Smashe almost sounds like it came from a deep place of
Came from
experience,
here.
Yeah, like it came from the heart. And the thing is, all of us know Esbahle. If you grew up in Lokshin, you definitely know Esbahle. If you grew up in
Yeah.
Lokshin and you were quite out in the streets quite a bit, you
You
knew
know,
quite a few
especially.
people, you know
Yeah.
Esbahle. But yeah, and it's also a sad story. It's also a sad story in a way, and the way that Lindo told it, I think a lot of people can properly relate to
Lots.
what they were saying on
To
there.
this day. To this day,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the album. I'm really looking forward to hearing how it sounds. Now, where I was going, especially with Zakwe. Now, someone tweeted something like earlier this week, asking about Zakwe. Guti, or rather saying, Guti, and I think it was today actually, saying that Zakwe has no equal in the country lyrically. How do you feel about that? And I asked that because, okay, so last week Friday, we know about Kendrick, right? Kendrick on Future and Metro Boomin's a track like that. He pretty much went after Drake
Drake.
and
Jacob.
J Cole, and that's been the topic since musically, that or rather in hip hop, that's been the topic since. Now, someone said, Guti, no one has done what Kendrick did, and there were a lot of responses. Which actually, handful of dust by Pretty Ugly. He pretty much did the same thing, but also with BIS two, which is before his single two, Yalo, yeah, Zakwe. Zakwe pretty much talked about everyone in the game, and there was not a single response.
And they all kept
Although,
quiet.
yeah, everyone kept quiet. Big Zulu did the same thing last year, and we had responses. We had responses from Questa,
We
from
had three, I
KO.
think.
Yeah, we had
But
three
only two were
responses.
fire.
Yeah, yeah, only two were proper fire, which was Omega by KO, and which was the name of the song,
And
yellow, yeah,
Questa.
yeah, Questa, yeah, but whatever it was, those were
The
the
Quantum.
responses.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
Quantum.
Quantum.
Yeah, Quantum.
Yeah.
And then Zagwe did pretty much the same thing. Went after everyone, and not a single response.
Yeah, now that you mentioned that, okay, now that you mentioned that, it might be possible because I don't think it's a thing of he doesn't deserve me responding. It's a thing of if I respond, I open a can of worms because the rebuttal is gonna be insane. Because he can back himself up.
Yeah,
And thing is, his lyrically fits in English and in vernac. That's the thing. You know,
yeah,
with Zulu, you would be like, okay, no. If I attack back, Angabuya Zulu, it might not hit as hard. You
yeah,
know? But with Uzagwe, he could literally go toe for toe with anyone. But I think I wouldn't necessarily say he has no equal. I think I'd be. Let's be controversial again and say big three, guys. Find a big three and put it there. Because saying that we're on the big three chat, that's one of the big three. Because I'm just like, yeah, nah, guys. It's tricky. It's tricky. When you think about it, it's tricky. Because we have a lot of great rappers in the country, man. And I never want to base it off the language used. But we have a lot of great rappers in the country.
yeah,
A lot.
yeah.
People who can literally back their case literally from beginning to end. Mongati, like bar for bar, they can. Song for song, they can. Album for album, they can, you know?
Yeah. But the thing about hip hop, and this is something that is always said, that hip hop is a competitive sport,
It is.
and it's pretty much like being in the Olympics, where we are not just looking at one thing. It's not like it's not like most other sports. It's not like football or cricket where it's just getting on the pitch where everything is level. It's pretty much like the Olympics where we are looking at a number of things. So we're looking at the ability of someone to make a hit. Zakwe doesn't rank very high in that. As good as he is lyrically, he doesn't rank very high as far as making a hit. As far as making hits like back to back, he has maybe one or two, but doesn't have a lot. The ability to put together an album. Now he went gold, and that was just one album. But then you also look at, I don't know if Zakwe and Duncan counts, because I've been listening to a lot of Zakwe and Duncan recently, and I feel like it has a potential to be a classic, to be considered a classic album at some point, because of
storytelling is insane.
Yeah, the storytelling on there, the selection of beats, like basically it being an album.
It's a rap album.
Yeah, it's a rap album. We look at lyrics. Okay, lyrically, Zakwe is somewhere at the top. He is fighting for the number one spot. Is fighting tooth and nail to be number one. He has a few people with him up there, but yeah, he's fighting tooth and nail to be number one. We look at impact in the game. As far as impact is concerned, he doesn't really pull a lot of weight. Yeah, he's a big name, by the way. He's not a small name. But when we look at everyone, because we look right at the top. Okay, there was AKA, huge impact. There's Casper. The impact is significant. There's A. Reese. There's but it's just a lot. It's just a lot of names that are up there when it comes to impact. That also look at club bangers as well. Zakwe does not have a lot of club bangers. He basically makes the kind of hip hop that scares women away. That's the term that I'll use. Yeah. He makes the kind of hip hop that scares women away.
There's a lot of rappers like that in this country. Hey, when you think about it.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Yeah, there's
rap.
Yeah, there's quite a lot. So as far as lyrical rap is concerned, we're not hungry in South Africa. We definitely not hungry in that department. But but anyway, coming back to you, because I'm not going to run away from this question. What I asked earlier. Where do you feel Zakwe is lyrically in South Africa? Maybe even generally. Let's just talk about generally. Where do you think he is?
You were coming fine when you said lyrically.
Yeah.
Because I feel like lyrically and generally, it's a different ranking altogether.
Yeah. No. When I say generally, I'm talking about lyrically.
Now we're looking at everything now. Okay. Because in my head, if you say generally, now we're looking at everything. Like we said, looking at the hits, the impact, the crowd that he will pull, the numbers that he pulls, how quick the album goes gold or whatever. But if you say lyrically...
No. When I said lyrically... when I said lyrically, I'm talking... when I said generally, sorry, I meant not just in South Africa, but all over, or with everyone that you listen to. Where do you think he ranks lyrically? Not just in South Africa.
He ranks very high, because a week doesn't pass without me listening to Zakwe. Actually, I think 2 days doesn't pass without me listening to Zakwe. You know how Spotify creates those, I'm not sure if on Spotify, but it creates those daily playlists for you.
Yeah.
And I have hip-hop playlists, Maskandi playlists, gospel playlists, every day, right? Zakwe is always there.
Okay.
Zakwe is literally always there. It's either he's there with his newest songs. This morning at the gym, literally on my shuffle, Ngises'congweni came on, and that's a song that he dropped on the Impande album.
Yeah.
You know? And these are songs that I literally know from the drop of the beat, which this is Zakwe.
Yeah.
Before he even says this pitch or anything, I know this is Zakwe. So for me personally, I listen to Zakwe a lot. I'm not going to front, you know? So for me personally, here's a person who I'm going to go into an event for, literally.
Okay.
You know, if they say Zakwe is there performing, I'll be like, I have time, I'm free, or I can move things around. I'm going to watch Zakwe perform.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely someone that you want to see perform live.
Definitely, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I have to agree. Because, like I said, like over the last week or two, I've been listening to a lot of Zakwe and Duncan, which is, like, in my opinion, I mean, it's like, I think it's 4 years old this year, because it came out in 2020, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's 4 years old this year. Yeah. Yeah.
No way.
It came out in 2020.
Why
because
does it sound like it came out in 2022 at the end of the year or something?
Like, exactly, that's what I'm talking about when I say that it is well on its way to be considered a classic album. It's too soon to be called a classic album. I don't know when we start looking at whether an album is a classic or not, but we are just not there yet with this particular album. Now, I remember that
controversial chats as well. Hey,
yeah, that
albums are controversial.
Yeah, very, very controversial. Very controversial because, again, there's people who look at it from different perspectives. Like, there's the casual listener who only listens to an album if there's a hit song. If they don't come across a song from an artist on Channel O or MTV Base or whatever, chances are they're not going to listen to the album. And even when they do listen to the album, they don't listen to the entire thing. They skip quite a lot of tracks, or they just go straight to the song that they know. So there's people like that who, when they talk about a classic album, they think about the single or the singles in the album which are memorable, like depending and they also look at the numbers as well. How much did it sell, or how much how well did people react to it? And then there's us, people who actually do listen to the music, and we can tell you, just based on how good it is, based on how it was produced, based on how the track lists are the tracks are put together. It's just quite a lot just to listen to how good, how nice it is to listen to the album, and how much it makes sense, and whether the album is from 20 years ago, and when I still listen to it today, does it still sound fresh? Does it still sound good? Or does it sound outdated or not? I feel like that's how we are able to decide whether an album is a classic or not. I mean, we obviously do not have like the entire criteria of what it takes for an album to be considered a classic, but the basic of it is whether the album is good or not, and if by an album from 20 years ago I can still listen to it today or not.
Yeah, I know it is a controversial chat. So I think I feel like if you could have like not a set criteria, but a set criteria to know what to rate it on. But also, I think that wouldn't be a good thing, because we all have a different ear, guys. What I deem as a classic, you might not. What I deem as a hit song, you might not.
No, yeah.
So I feel like it's subjective, man.
Yeah, like, and you know why I'm laughing? Well, when you mentioned that we should have a criteria, is that if you follow enough hip hop people on Twitter, you know that there's always an argument about something. Even if there was a criteria that was made, there's always going to be people who are going to question that particular criteria. Which why is this part of the criteria, and why isn't this part of the criteria? So there'll never be like a proper agreement on.
Hip hop heads, we are hard to please.
Yeah, like it's.
We are hard to please.
Yeah, very, very hard to please. And you know, I'm trying to stay away from the whole Kendrick, J. Cole, and Drake thing. But somehow I just feel drawn to go to it. But I don't
We
want to
needed
get,
that, man. I really feel like we needed it. We've, for lack of a better word, it's been boring. Like,
yeah,
it's really been boring. So I feel like they reminded us why we fell in love with the culture at the beginning, right? Maybe it's just me, but since that happened, a lot of conversations have been going on, and the passion is coming out again. You can know when you can sense someone's excitement over a tweet.
mm,
And I'm just like, people are passionate
yeah,
about this, and we've been lacking that because now the music had been like not necessarily dead, but then it hasn't been giving what it's supposed to give. So that they gave us something to talk about once again, or rather, Kendrick gave us something to talk about once again. And now it's a thing of, do you really feel like J. Cole could body Kendrick? Some people are saying yes, some are saying no. People are comparing catalogs, you know. So it's right now it's a conversation that's still gonna be had for a while, because it's not a local thing, it's a global thing, and everyone
yeah,
has their own opinions.
yeah. Like, I mean, obviously, I feel like Kendrick put guys like myself who love him in
I was
an
about to
uphill
say,
battle. Yeah, it put us in a
it's tricky
it
for
placed
you this one.
it placed us in an uphill battle because if it was just taking on Drake or just taking on Cole, I think it would be kind of okay. But now he's taking on both of them at the same time.
I
Uh, and
just said you and your mama. I want everyone.
yeah, yeah, but for guys like myself, we're gonna fight with Kendrick, man. We're gonna fight for him. We're
Tooth and
gonna
nail.
stand by him in this battle, no matter what happens. But in my opinion, like I fully agree. I fully agree with you that this is something that we needed. It's been a while since we had something this exciting happen
Yeah.
in hip hop. And when you think about the fact that we are now in a different decade, I mean, all three of these guys, they came out pretty much, or rather, they came into the mainstream
Blew
properly.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like in the previous decade, like between 2010 and 2019, that was their time. And then now we're here in 2024, almost halfway through this decade, and still these guys are the three of the biggest hip hop artists that we have today. I mean,
Yep.
just forget about the
To
numbers,
this
forget
day.
about the streaming numbers. Like, think about the impact that they have. Think about the strength and the foundation that they have. They
Yeah.
pretty much wash everyone. If
Solid.
yeah, like they'll wash everyone. If it wasn't for like the streaming and social media and all of that, these three guys would be in our faces still. Just like we had Boo 50 Cent back then in
Yep.
Butcher Rule in the early 2000s. So these guys have a solid foundation. And it's a sad state that they're still three of the top hip hop artists right now,
Yeah.
when we're supposed to have newer hip hop artists, younger guys who are actually just taking the game. We're supposed to be seeing a beef from guys that we do not, guys that are new, basically. Just like when 50 Cent came out after pretty much everyone, but then he zoned in on Ja Rule. Back in the 90s, we had we had Biggie and Park, also still very young, in their early 20s, by the way. We had, and I think Ja Rule and 50 Cent were also in their 20s at the time.
By then, yeah.
Yeah, back then. Um, who else? Okay, I mean, well, Ice Cube beefed with Easy E and Dr. Dre or whatever. There was Common and Ice Cube as well, also in their 20s. So right now, seeing these guys, they're closing in on their retirement age, basically. Entertainment wise, music wise, yeah, they're closing in on their on their retirement age, and yet that's the biggest beef, or that these are the biggest. It's the biggest thing that's happening right now, and it shouldn't be that way.
As I think that also, you just made me think about something right now, right? Could it also not be us, the consumers, and the age that we're at, right? The reason I'm asking this, yes, there are people in our age group who you listen to your Lil Durks. I think it's Lil Durk, I stand to be corrected, right?
Yeah.
But compared to him and your Kendricks, your Lil Waynes, even your Big Sean, man, even your J. Cole, your Nas, the age group that listens to those people, I don't think you'll find them mostly listening to Lil Durk and Lil Baby. Yes, back home, but it's not a huge number, right? Now, does it not bring up the question of these people might actually be big as hell with the young ones? We just don't have sight to that. So you know how you can curate your Twitter to only show you what you want?
Yeah.
Curate to Spotify to only make you listen what you want to listen to? Don't you think it's the same thing also with the younger generation, which we don't have access to? We're not on their on their timelines, they're not on ours. We're not on their events, they're not at ours. Because now you just made me question that what if these artists are actually as big with them?
You know, that's actually that's very interesting, right? That is very interesting. But I don't know if you're gonna be able to bear with me here as I look.
Because to be honest, I've never heard you speaking about Lil Baby. Do you even know a single song by Lil Baby?
Yeah, like let's see. Okay. Because with that, right, I'm going to the fact that you might have a point. You might have a point where maybe we'll probably do not see these guys. But I'm also thinking about the charts. I'm also thinking about the charts here. When you look at the top artists. So right now I'm looking at the Billboard top R&B and hip hop albums at the moment, right? So at number one, okay, it's R&B, so it's SZA. Number two is Vulture's One, which is Ye and Ty Dolla $ign. So Ye is closing in on his 50s, very close to his 50s. Number three is Drake For All the Dogs. There is Travis Scott at number 4 with Utopia. At number 5 is 21 Savage with American Dream. There's followed by Post Malone with, okay, this thing is acting up. Okay, but number 6 is Post Malone. Now, I think I'm pretty much making my point here. You might have a point, but then when you look at the charts, those guys are not here. Boy, Lil Baby, was it Lil Baby? I think that was trying to come to South Africa.
South Africa, correct.
Yeah, he couldn't. I mean, if you put him in a club, maybe he might be able to have an impact. But you think about, what if Drake came to South Africa? But okay, maybe Drake is not the right example, because Drake is way, way big. But someone like J. Cole, for instance, if he was to come to South Africa, do you think he might be able to sell more tickets than Lil Baby?
Yeah, he would.
Yeah. I mean, everyone went to to Hey Neighbor. Most people went to Hey Neighbor to go see Kendrick. But I don't know how he would do if it was just a one-man show. If it was just his show again, like in 2014.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, my point is that
yeah, I was about to say.
yeah,
And all three of them have actually been here, right? And they pulled. So that crew that they had then, they just went along with them through life.
yeah.
Because it's still us, yes, and some new ones, but it's still us,
Yeah, it's still us. Like I feel like hip hop right now at the moment it does not have a new kid, or a new generation that is really talking to the youth today. Like Drake talked to us like late 2000s.
Back
Kendrick
then.
talked to us early
True.
2000s. J. Cole talked to us like early 2010s. J. Cole talked to us, I think, also around the time.
Around the time, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think the youth today, like the the teens and the people in the early 20s, I don't think they have that artist at the moment.
You know how Zulu sits in Lilo Amaphepha? I think that's what happens.
Yeah,
It's a thing of they might have one banger, but then after that, there's no substance.
yeah,
And the three that we speak, the big three, the three that
yeah,
we're speaking about right now, there's a lot of substance.
yeah. There's a lot of
Even
substance.
if right now Jake from 10 years ago is not the same Jake now, but there's still music that you can listen to. I mean, if that album, is it For the Dogs? What was that album? I don't like it.
Yeah, for all the dogs.
For all the dogs, yeah. If it's still ranking that high, I mean, it shows he's still doing something that yes, he's not doing Take Care Drake, but he's still doing something that is still giving people what they want. So they're not fizzling out, they're giving us substance.
Yeah,
And I feel like maybe with the new ones, they're quick to fizzle out. It's a thing of not necessarily overnight success, but overnight success.
yeah. So I would say that hip hop today, where it is, it's almost like where Amapiano was in when in its early stages when it started, or rather when it just blew up, like in the 2018, 2019, somewhere there, where you had a whole lot of artists or producers just coming out. We don't even know who this guy is, but they've got a hit that is playing everywhere. But then over time, they probably have maybe that one hit and maybe another one, and then they just fizzle out, and then there's someone else. Like that, there's just like it's almost like a vicious cycle where it's almost like going through a fire, basically, where those who are not strong enough. I mean, you might have a good hit, you might have a very nice song right now, but after a while, it just dies out. I think maybe 3 years from now, of all the guys that are here now, maybe one or two will be able to stand out.
That's true.
Yeah, a
That's
couple of
true.
years from now, and then from there, that's when we are going to see some proper hip hop artists come out with different sounds. No more of this mumble rap thing. No more of the trap thing where every beat sounds the same. It's just going to be, we're going to see someone who's unique, maybe two or three that are properly unique and taking the game to the next level. I think it's going to be maybe the next 2, maybe 3 years.
Yeah, not now as well. I also don't see it currently. At least we get caught by surprise,
Yeah,
but
but
I also don't see it right now.
yeah, because I mean, also think about it. Metro Boomin has been in the game for quite a while now. I don't
Oh,
know.
wow.
Yeah, it's been around for quite a while, and he's teamed up with Future. Future, we also know he's been around for quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's right now. I don't think there's anyone really. There's no one that is really taking the game forward. It's just more Drake and Kendrick
And
and J. Cole.
yeah.
Yeah, because also think about
And when you bring it back home, is it the same here as well?
um I see people talking. I don't know how it's supposed to say the word like Equelas or Quelas, something like that. They're
I
pretty.
can't.
Yeah. I tried, honestly, I tried listening to them. I couldn't. I really couldn't. although Java,
Tyla, guys. Tyla, I can't. When I say Dine nerves, I'm not even joking, guys. Dine nerves. And you know what? The oilers are doing their own thing. I'm happy for them.
yeah,
But you see, it's what I was saying earlier. I feel like maybe they have their own generation because the kids go wild for the oilers, guys. Their events get packed. The minute they land in Bram, Ngati, it's like, not even, it's like a ripple effect. Somebody hears, then everything is just tripling. Now they end
yeah,
up all being there. But those are their people. I personally wouldn't leave my house and get I'm going to an event at an
oilers
audience.
thing.
I hear nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, because the way at
Now people are
Cheeky's,
speaking like that. I'm just like, guys, speak properly. I don't know what you're saying. I struggle so much. I'm just like, you will tell the what? I'm just like, guys, there's no way. This is not English.
because the way at Cheeky's this past weekend and Shava was there supporting them apparently. Yeah, so I tried listening to them. People are talking about them like they're this next big thing. I don't know. And also being a group.
Oh, so buying guy, that's why I'm going by Ningi. I feel like that's.
Yeah, I don't know. If history teaches us anything, I don't think they're going to make it past 2 years, maybe.
Same.
Yeah, at some point that they're going to break up, and when they do break up, hopefully it's not like that messy type thing where it's just fights that are off record, basically, where it's just tweets and words being thrown around. If there is going to be a fight, let it be on a record. Let us hear it in the music. That's my take.
But I hope they disappoint us and actually stick together. That would be a good thing. But they're not my cup of tea, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully they do disappoint us, or maybe hopefully it's something like Boys and Bugs type thing, where even though they're not really
become a family,
clique anymore, but they're still together. Even though they're not making music all together anymore, but they're still there supporting each other. And I think it will be good for South African hip hop if they have like a breakout artist, maybe one or two breakout artists who will do like solo projects or whatever. And then everybody else is not like, it's not like a beef type thing. But it is, that's just there as support. Hopefully it goes that way. If it means that
I hope so too.
Even if it means that they're not going to be like the full goilers as we see them today, but like you said, that hopefully they do disappoint us and they actually stick together
and make hip hop great.
Yeah,
They must just make hip hop great.
yeah, but like go like to keep on your question. I don't know. I can't think of anybody else at the moment because there's still Aries. There's still
We had a few people with potential.
who else is there?
And
Questa,
I feel like they can
I suppose.
still harness that.
Oh, what's that?
Now I'm saying I feel like we have a lot of artists with potential right now, and if they could harness that, they could literally be not just the next big thing, but they could be big for a while in this country.
Yeah.
Like at the top of my head right now, I feel like 25K is such an incredible artist.
Yeah.
25K can run with it if he sticks to it. Tato So as well. If he sticks with it, go far. McLaren, guys, McLaren eats on every feature he's on.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's got this whole artistry thing on lock, from the look to the features to the beats to the singles, So I feel like if they can just, man, they could be what we need in this country for hip hop.
Yeah.
And they have like hardcore heavy sounds, but then they rap, They give us what we want.
Yeah, and Blackie as well. Blackie is on tour with Bass at the moment.
Yes, definitely.
In the US.
Definitely, yes.
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't get lost on us. he keeps. I mean, I hope that it grows, because growth is a natural thing. It's supposed to happen. But I also hope that he keeps that natural, that South African part of him, where we are able to,
Yeah, same.
to hear him.
Relate.
Yeah, hopefully that happens. I don't know if Nasty C counts as someone who is still somewhat young, or yeah, because I think it's been like 10 years now since it started.
I think age-wise, he's young, but musically, no, he's good.
Yeah,
No, he's good. He's gone.
yeah. But yeah, I think at the moment it's just those guys. Those 25K, Mash Beats as well. Mash Beats is
Oh, yes.
yeah.
Yes. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Also loved.
And who's this? Words. Words as well, man.
Oh yeah, words as well. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, is also one of those people. Buzili, I'd also love to hear more from her.
Yes. Actually, yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
Different sound altogether.
Yeah. Who's this lady? She's from Cape Town. Trying to remember.
Asa, colored.
No, she's black.
It's not D, right?
No, D Koala. Yeah, D Koala. Yeah.
He's amazing, guys.
Yeah, she is. She really is. I mean, apart from the language, the profanity, I think. Yeah, apart from the profanity,
Besides that,
but she's amazing. She really is amazing, and she's also quite creative as well.
Yes.
And from hearing
Right.
how she makes the music, she works really hard, and I would I would love to see her win as well.
Yeah, no, definitely same. And her and McLaren on stage all the time, my fave.
Yeah,
They gel so well together.
yeah,
They're so amazing.
yeah. It really is, really is. By the way, have you listened to Tyler's album? Not yet.
I'd be lying to you now. I'm proud of her. I'm happy. I don't know,
Yeah.
and as much as I don't have a problem with Tyla, right? She's a cute girlie. I love everything that's happening for her, right? But her thing is, the songs that I've heard of hers and the snippets, yes, I'm judging right now, but it's not necessarily my vibe, right? And I want to be in a space when I listen to an album.
Yeah,
I don't want to listen to it just because I need to come back and speak about it. That's my problem. I feel like I'm going to go into it now with okay, I'm looking for a mistake now, or I'm looking for something I don't like.
yeah,
Right. I saw the features. I'm happy with the features. I'm impressed. But I haven't listened to the album. Apparently, it's a good one. Like, I'm seeing a lot of people who don't even listen to that type of music loving it.
yeah.
So I'm really happy for it. I'll probably listen to it next week. Not this week. This week, a lot is going on.
Yeah, I actually listened to it on Friday, but I only had one listen. Only had one listen to it, and I feel like it's a good album. Yeah, after one listen, it's a pretty good album. I saw some people talk about or saying that most of the album sounds the same, but it's what you would expect from that kind of album, or rather that kind of sound, because it's mainly a mixture of Afro beats and amapiano. Although it's mainly amapiano, mainly amapiano. So obviously you'd hear,
Really?
it will sound sort of similar because she's using the same patterns, basically, or rather the same sounds in there. Some patterns
Okay.
are a bit similar or whatever. But after one listen, I feel like it's a good album. Whether it will make a classic album one day, I don't think so. I feel like it's one of those albums that are good today. They're good because of the
I was
sound that
about
we
to
have
ask that.
today. Yeah, but as far as three, maybe even this time
So
next
long
year,
run, longevity, like, are you not seeing
yeah,
it?
yeah. In the long run, I'm definitely not seeing it. Um, but yeah, but it's only time will tell. Only time will tell. Maybe I might be wrong, or whatever. But only time will tell. But I do not see the longevity of it being successful. It's only good today simply because, first of all, it's Tyler, who is one of the hottest artists out
It's
right
big
now.
right now.
Yeah, and also because there's a mixture of amapiano and Afro beats, which are also quite hot right now, particularly in the US. But yeah, and the intro as well. I don't know if you heard anything about that, but it's quite awkward.
It sounds
Because
like a voice note.
yeah,
That's what they
it's
said.
definitely, yeah, it's definitely like a voice note. But Tyler apparently recorded part of the session
Yeah.
when she was working with Kelvin Momo, and she just decided to put it on there because also again it's because of how the album sounds like, which was for her. She was saying, and this was before Water, I think. This was at the time when she was still working closely with Calvin. So she, I saw, yeah, I think she wrote like a note or something and put it up on the internet where she was basically saying that she chose that voice note or rather that sound clip to be the intro because of how far she's come in making music and also part of the journey uh, that she's been on, and also because of how the album or how she sees the album or whatever, something like that. So yeah, it's terrible, I guess, but when you understand the reason why,
Reason behind
yeah,
it.
then it's like okay, it kind of makes sense.
Understandable.
It's yeah, it's weird, but okay, yeah, whatever, that type of thing. And she also put like
Yeah.
because it's a
No, I
14
hear
track
it. I
album.
hear you.
Yeah, yeah, it's also like a 14 track album. She put that remix with Travis Scott, the Water remix, as track number 14. I still reiterate, like I feel like it's a wasted feature, especially because there's so many tracks where she's not featuring anyone, and she could have put him on there, in one of those
Understand.
other ones. Yeah, but it's yeah, I don't know. It's a good album right now, but in the long run, I don't know. I don't see it.
Don't say it last time.
Yeah,
No, give it a listen. The cover is dope though. She looks cute. Love it.
yeah, yeah.
But I haven't
Uh,
checked it out.
Yeah, but also weird that because we've seen the cover is similar to the artwork that we see with Water. It's the same artwork as Water. So I feel like it's kind of weird why they didn't go for something else, and why they chose to stay with that one. More especially because it's a digital. It's purely on digital. It's not like when back then,
Yeah.
when he sold CDs. Because when he sold CDs, then it would be easier to see it or to spot it when you're just browsing. But now with
Spotted. Yeah.
yeah, with this, you literally have to be searching for Tyler or whatever to
If
be able
anything,
to see
yeah.
the artwork.
To find it.
Yeah,
I wonder what the reasoning behind that was.
yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, I wonder as well. I also wonder what the reason behind it
No,
was.
I'll give it a listen, but not this
Yeah,
week. Definitely next week.
yeah. Is there anything else that you want to talk about?
I don't. This is a bit controversial, right? But
Yeah.
I saw a video a while back, I think 2 weeks ago, if not three, of Elaine performing.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, I ain't correct, Manelisi. I may not okay. You know, I'm not okay because not to take anything away from Tyler,
Mm.
but you know, the first time I heard that EP, Elaine.
Yeah.
I thought this is what's going to happen for Elaine. I think it's 7 tracks, if not 6. And from track 1, she sang, the beat selection is amazing. The entire mistake is amazing, guys. And something happened because she did go to the States. She traveled. She was known a bit. But between that and when she dropped that Right Now single, but even that Right Now single didn't do what it was supposed to do. I don't know. Is it a management issue? Is it an artist issue? Like, what went wrong?
Like from how I understand it, like how I understand how record labels work, or how basically how fame works or entertainment industry works, is that it can be quite tricky, because one might think that it's maybe just one thing, like she's probably being let down by a record label, or she has become lazy, or whatever. But I doubt that it's her becoming lazy, because when you sign a contract, right? Especially with her, I mean, I remember when she signed with, because she signed with Columbia Records. People were excited for her, more especially because Beyonce is also under Columbia Records. So it's kind of like she's on the same record label as Beyonce. But we know that it doesn't work that way. Just because in the same record label as Beyonce does not mean that that you'll work with her, or you'll bump into her in the hallways or whatever. But with record labels like Columbia, which is quite big, you don't just sign a record label where it's like you're just signing new, you're here, whatever. Like there's targets that you need to meet. Like you should probably sign like a 2 or 3 album deal. And if you sign an album deal, the record label is going to want those albums.
until you
Yeah,
release those albums.
yeah, you can't go until you've signed those albums, unless something radical happens and they decide to drop you. There's a budget that they give to you, especially if you're going to start, unless the record label themselves, they decide, because you know what, yes, we've signed a 3 album record, but you're going to have to wait a little bit, because we are focused on whoever right now, or we are focused on whoever right now. But if it's not that, if it's yeah, but like I said, I doubt that is her being lazy. The record label itself might have let her down. Yeah, the record label itself might have let her down, and probably because I think again it's because it's Elaine right now. South Africa musically is on top of the world, and her being from South Africa. Because I remember that, I know the clip that you're talking about, and I think there's like an amapiano beat happening in the background, or whatever.
She's chanting Tiralang, not
Yeah.
the song is chanting Tiralang as Elaine.
Yeah.
No, maybe at group when you're with your friends, but not as
Not on
not as
stage.
the artist who's there to perform. What was
Not
it?
on stage.
Guys,
Yeah, because
and
again,
I love her so much. I think that this is personal for me. I really love Elaine.
yeah, because again, it's possible that the record label might say that we want an amapiano thing, and that is not Elaine. Elaine is more R&B, is more like on your scissor type. Yeah, she's in that spectrum, around SZA, around Beyonce or whatever. But as far as making dance music is concerned, yeah, she's not there. Yeah, she's not there to make you
Not the
dance.
girl.
Yeah, she's more to make you think about that ex, or think about how great your relationship is right now,
Yes.
or how terrible it is at the moment, things like that. As far as Amapiano is concerned, nah, I don't. She's definitely not there. So I feel like it's very possible that it's a record label that has let her down, has not allowed her to properly work, even though we might say that unless she's recorded something which they decided to shelve, um, possibly it might mean that she probably doesn't have her own recording studio or whatever. Maybe the budget hasn't been allocated well enough for her to do something proper. But if we were to assume that they gave her a budget, they gave her a space, and she recorded something, but then they decided to say no, we're not going to do this, or they're probably not happy with what she submitted, and they asked her to maybe redo something or any whatever. Uh, but yeah, it's most likely that the record label has let it down, in my opinion. Yeah.
I really, if there's one thing, you see, the same way I feel like Babes is making a comeback.
Yeah.
If it's possible for Babes, I really want my girl Elaine.
Yeah, no, Elaine's
There's
still.
so much potential. There's so much, and she's like she's understood globally. It's not just a South African thing. So
Yeah.
she caters to everyone. A lot will relate to her locally, internationally. So I really want that for her. I really want her to come back, man. Like, be the girl again.
Yeah, no, Elaine, I feel like she still has a lot of time. If she uses this year, she takes this year to actually create something special.
Yeah.
I think she still has a lot of time because she might have this year. I don't know about next year, about 2025.
Yeah.
2026 is too far. I don't, yeah, anything beyond 2025 or mid 2025, I think is too far. Like, I feel like for her to actually make a comeback properly, she has this year to create something special. But then also there's a possibility that she might be a one-hit wonder. There might be that possibility.
Hey, but with 7 songs though.
Yeah, in saying that she's a one-hit wonder, I feel like
them are great, man.
Yeah, like I feel like it's not necessarily a one-hit wonder where it's just one song. I feel like she just did that project, that EP,
did that
perfectly. Okay. Yeah, and she might either be chasing that same high that she got from that album, or she might no longer be in that space where she recorded that EP. Sorry, not that album, where she's no longer able to connect to that person that she was at the time. So it's possible that she might not have it in her to create, to recreate an EP that good. I feel like that is possible.
Yeah, that could be it as well. Because I thought about it also, I'm just like, she can't tap into that anymore. Because also we don't know how long she worked.
Yeah.
Towards that album, it could have been years.
Yeah.
To perfect that, you know.
Yeah, and also
in order for her to get something like that again, she would have to work longer, take more years and everything.
Yeah, and,
so
and
it could be that.
Yeah, it also could be an environment thing where she wrote that with nothing to lose and nobody to impress, where it was just, there was no pressure at all when creating that. But now, where she is now, there's a lot of ears waiting to hear what she has to say and waiting to hear what she has to come up with. Now she had to move pretty much most of the time. She's probably in the US, working from there. She's probably like the situation definitely is no longer what it was before that EP. So yeah, like there's a lot of changes that have happened. So it's a tricky one. I feel like it's a very, very tricky one, and it's hard to say exactly where the issue is. Maybe we might know if we get to talk to her, or whoever gets to talk to her, and she actually and she's actually honest about what's going on as far as the music is concerned. I feel like that might be it. Maybe then we'll know exactly what it is that's going on.
What's going on?
Yeah.
But I want better for my girl. I really want it to be back.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I want better for her as well. I feel like if she could come out with a couple of hits, it might be a great time for South Africa as a whole. Where on one hand you have Tyler, and then on the other hand you have Elaine. I think that might be that would be beautiful to see.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Really
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah, that would be
Really
beautiful to
hope it
witness.
works out, man.
Yeah, yeah, hopefully. Now, what I want to close with, or rather, what's last for me, is what we actually started with, which is the whole Diddy situation. So, for people who are not aware what happened, right? So late last year, Cassie sued, or rather, yeah, she was suing Diddy for sexual assault charges, for um, being forced into an unhealthy situation, basically, where sexual acts were done, where drugs were 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 included, and all of that. So in that, within 24 hours, because I remember the the lawsuit was filed on a Thursday, and then by Friday morning, already Diddy has settled with Cassie,
That's all.
paying her $30 million. And we talked about this, and we did say that this might actually open a can of worms for Diddy. We might see a lot more coming out after this, and
Yeah.
definitely we are seeing it right now happening.
In
So
real time.
in real time, because a couple of weeks
See, as
ago,
we are recording right now, you
yeah.
don't think it's happening again. Because
You
hey,
know? Yeah, as we're recording right now, Diddy June July nje, not knowing
ubalekile
yeah,
uyandiza, private
yeah.
jet left, right, and center. It's just a lot is
Yeah,
happening.
it's a lot. It's a lot. So a couple of weeks ago, a producer called Lil Rod. I don't know if you're familiar with him, Z. But
No.
he's yeah. It was the first time also hearing about him when I actually read the document. So it's about 100. How many pages? Yeah, I think it's about 100 and some. No, 72 pages if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 72 pages.
But it's long.
Yeah, it's very very long. I haven't even finished it. But Lil Rod basically was hired by Diddy, right, to produce some songs on his album, on his latest album, Love album. And Lil Rod produced 9 songs on that album, which is a majority of the number of the songs on there. Um, so it started out with Lil Rod saying that I think it was with Diddy for like 13 months, something like that. And in that time that was a Diddy, it was, but anyway, I'll be quick. I'll be quick. So basically, Lil Rod was staying with Diddy for like 13 months or something like that. And in that 13 months, he did not. It basically was secluded from his family. He did not spend Christmas with them, did not spend birthdays, he did not spend major holidays, basically. Yeah, yeah. Most of the time he was working with Diddy. Now, he was working with him in New York and Miami, Florida, Los Angeles, as well as the US Virgin Islands. Now, interestingly enough, like I mentioned that he did not spend major holidays and or anything like that with his family. So on was it on Thanksgiving? Yeah, I think it was Thanksgiving. Diddy had a party or whatever, and Young Miami's cousin, Young Miami is dating Diddy. She basically sexually assaulted Lil Rod on there. So a number of people are basically being sued by Lil Rod, and this includes um, the the CEO of what do you call it? CEO of Universal Music. What's his name? Because I'm trying to get. I lost everything when this thing switched off, but it's about to switch on. Okay, so it's basically it's Love Records, which is I don't know what Diddy did with Bad Boy Records, but he's got Love Records now. There is sorry, there is okay. So it's Diddy, it's Justin Combs, which is Diddy's son. There is Ethiopia Heptameriam, Ethiopia Heptameriam, who is the CEO of Motown Records. There is Lucian Charles Grange, who is the CEO of UMG. There is Christina Koram, who is the chief of staff working for Diddy. There's Chalice Recording Studios. There is Love Records. There is Combs Global Enterprises. And there's also, and there's also suing UMG itself and Motown Records and a bunch of other people which are not named in the lawsuit. So it's a lot of people. Now, the reason why like Motown and UMG are being sued is because Diddy had all these parties that were sponsored by the record labels and Love Records as well. So in sponsoring these parties, what happened is that in these parties, Diddy would have minors on there. Would have minors at the parties where he would have sex workers there. He would have like a myriad of drugs, like different kinds of drugs. He would even separate the drinks. He'd have drinks that are made that are kept separately for women, and he would have drinks that are kept for the guys and I suppose everyone who is in his staff. Now, the drinks that are kept separately, specifically for women, he would lace those drinks with different kinds of drugs. It lace those drinks, and like it's a huge mess. And the thing is, Diddy,
he deserves everything that's coming to him.
Like, personally, I feel like
I'm sorry. That's why I draw the line. Not when it comes to minors and guys. Oh,
yeah, like for me, I feel like prison is not enough, and death is also not enough. Because I feel like death is an easy way out. And prison is it's prison
is also easy if you have money.
Yeah, it's much easier. Like he deserves like something special just for people like him. So it's
the same way he hurt people is the same way he must be hurt.
Yeah, like he would have actually, and we mentioned this before, like he would have all these parties at his house, and he would have a bed somewhere on there, which speaks of the kind of mind that this person has, like what's happening with him.
For what?
Yeah, it really doesn't make sense.
He already made it. Just have basic parties, have a barbecue, that's what they call it, and have a barbecue and just chill with your mates. Like, why was he still also doing these things? Because as you said, he was working with this guy recently for the Love album. That means he was still doing it now. It's not things that he did back then, Ali and whatnot. It's things that he's still doing now. Why?
Yeah. Like,
not that if they were done back then, we'll excuse the fact. No, it's still wrong. But why was he still continuing?
Like, it's really hard to understand why he would, except maybe at a spiritual level, where all of this translated somehow at a spiritual level to something that was happening there. But generally, just speaking, Jay, here, it just doesn't make sense why.
So to turn.
Pretty much, because the thing is, he was basically grooming Lil Rod to be, he was basically grooming Lil Rod for himself in some ways. And what was happening is that at first so before I tell you what he promised Lil Rod, right? So in agreeing for Lil Rod to come and work for Diddy, so obviously when he agreed, he didn't know any of these things. Probably, we assume that he didn't know the kind of lifestyle that Diddy was living. But Diddy offered him like $21,000 to work on the album. But and that in itself is like it's especially if it's going to be for 13 months working exclusively for him, it's exploitation. But then the agreement was that he would have his rights to the royalties, or to the masters, I guess, on the songs on the music that he has worked on specifically, and also obviously like royalties and stuff like that. Yeah, so most of the money he'll make like in the back end.
Okay.
But initially, Lil
It
Rod
is
wanted
his.
$51,000 to do this. And Diddy talked him down to 21. At some point, Lil Rod in the negotiations
And
asked for
for what?
29.
Because he had the
Yeah,
money.
he has the money, but he just didn't want to pay that extra 30,000. Now, here's the interesting thing. So, in trying to groom Lil Rod to partake in all these in this lifestyle thing that he was doing, he offered him at some point. He offered him to pay him 250,000 US dollars, and he did not agree to it, because how do you agree to getting paid $250,000 just for sleeping with this guy when he refused to pay him
Like
$51,000 for work that he's actually going to do?
for making music.
And at some point, he offered him a guarantee that one day he'll win the Producer of the Year at the Grammys. Lil Ross still said no to his advances. And the biggest one of them all,
Did he alright, guys?
what's that?
Is he okay upstairs?
It's not.
Like Diddy, is he okay upstairs?
It's not, because, I mean, even logically thinking about it, how can Diddy guarantee him a Grammy Award when Diddy himself hasn't
Exactly.
won one in years? He hasn't won one himself in years.
You know, if Beyonce said that, maybe. If Beyonce said that, we'd be like, okay, maybe. Because she has multiple. Not Diddy. Like
Yeah,
that.
not Diddy.
It's been forever.
Yeah. And then the biggest one, and this is just ridiculous. Diddy offered to give him his $20 million house, which is somewhere on an island. And, and still the thing is, I don't know what the reasoning would be for that. But Lil Rod still said no. Now, this whole thing also includes Cuba Gooding Jr. Cuba Gooding Jr. He joined Diddy and then he joined everyone when Diddy rented a yacht at the U.S. Virgin Islands. They went to the U.S. Virgin Islands, and obviously in between working, whatever, still having his parties, still inviting minors, still inviting sex workers and all of that. Lil Rod claims that Cuba sexually assaulted and harassed him because they were sitting together. So they were introduced by Diddy at the yacht thing, and Lil Rod was still working while on the yacht. So, and there's even pictures of them like sitting next to each other talking,
Guys.
and Cuba was touching him and all of that. And this is worse because it's on a yacht. There's no way he can go, pretty much.
That's the thing. That's what I'm thinking about. Because I'm just like, these people could have easily just thrown him over the like what do you call that thing off
Yeah.
the yacht, and that would be the
And
end
that'll
of
be
it.
the end of him. Like, it's just an awkward situation. So, because in my understanding,
What is wrong with Diddy?
in my understanding, I feel like the Diddy was trying to break Lil Rod, but he just couldn't. And he invited
Yes, he
Cuba Gooding
couldn't.
Jr. to see if he actually can break him, which didn't happen as well. So all these people, they are included in the lawsuit. And as we've seen, actually we saw today that his houses in Miami, New York, and Los Angeles, they were raided. And not just by the police, but by Homeland
Yeah.
Security. Homeland Security is a wing of the police or law enforcement that you don't want to mess with. Yeah, if they come knocking, it's similar to the NIU knocking at your door. Because if you try anything funny,
Basically,
you're going to end
yeah.
up on the floor. So the Homeland Security raided his house. He wasn't there, but his sons were there. Justin, who's also in the lawsuit, I believe was also in the house, is in handcuffs. It's just a mess. Yeah,
It's a lot.
it's quite a lot, because as far as we know, like his plane, his private jet, it left the US, went to the Caribbean, but apparently he wasn't on the flight. They're not sure. okay, some are saying that he wasn't on the flight. Some are saying that they're not sure if he was there or not. So he basically left his sons behind, maybe as decoys or to slow down the police or whatever, or maybe just left them there stranded while he makes a getaway. But basically, Diddy is in huge trouble. Like he's in serious, serious trouble. And now it's beyond the lawsuit in itself.
Because I saw that he also went to a party yesterday, but he looked out of it.
Yeah, no.
He was he was zoning out.
Yeah, like since the whole thing, since Lil, I think maybe the Cassie thing wasn't such a huge blow because it thought that he had gotten that whole thing. He got rid of the whole thing. But as the Lil Rod
That's
lawsuit,
where the problem started. I think everybody's seeing how quick he was to pay off Cassie.
yeah,
It made us question a lot.
yeah, and you actually mentioned
So
this.
not only are you admitting to abusing this woman, you're buying her silence.
Yeah,
So
that-
what
and-
more does she know? You know?
Yeah, and I think we mentioned this when we talked about it last time, that he settled this so quickly that it actually proves everything that Cassie was saying. Because
Yes,
someone
good.
who is innocent,
Yes.
they don't settle that quickly. They wait.
No.
Yeah, they try to fight this entire thing. But someone who's guilty will want to have it done over as quickly as possible. Because another thing that Diddy is facing is that it's possible that there will be RICO charges laid against him. Now, RICO charges is not something. It's not like murder or fraud or whatever, where it just comes up out of nowhere, or you do something today and tomorrow you're in court. Like this is years. When you talk about the RICO case,
Years
this is
of
years
gathering.
years of gathering evidence. Where if they say that you are facing a RICO case in the US, you best
They
believe
know
that
what they're talking about.
yeah, best believe that this person is guilty of something and is guilty of something very, very serious. It might not be everything, but he's definitely guilty of
Facts.
something serious. And just to give you an idea, this is why a RICO is why Young Thug is in court today. It's why everyone in his circle has been called to court. Everyone that is believed to be involved in business with is in court to testify or whatever. So with Diddy, if the RICO charges are actually filed, we are going to see quite a lot of people. And
I
Nakona,
think that's the thing about this case. It's a ripple effect. Like a lot of people are going to go down with Diddy if he
Yeah.
decides to sing. A lot of people are going down with Diddy.
and that's also
The industry as we know it is not going to be that anymore. And I got you, but I'm all for it, guys.
yeah.
But these are the same people who are on the Jeffrey Epstein list and everything. Those people were involved with minors, guys. As I said earlier, you can't do that.
Yeah.
I don't care what else you do, but that's where we draw the line, you know?
Yeah. Now imagine being
So
on the
whatever's
Epstein.
coming to them,
Yeah. Imagine now being on the Epstein list as well as the Diddy list. You are definitely going down. If you are on
you
both
deserve
those lists,
everything that's coming
yeah,
to you.
yeah. Like,
Because also my thing is, what was it about? Why were you doing it? Because clearly it wasn't about the money.
yeah, it
wasn't about
definitely
the
wasn't
money.
about the money.
You're just a vile person, you know?
Yeah, yeah, it definitely wasn't about the money because it's just like it's a huge mess. It's a huge mess, and the thing is, I also questioned this about Diddy. Kuti, was he in a way trying to get himself caught or not? Because a lot of the things that he did, he recorded, and he also recorded not just on his own devices, but he recorded in other people's devices. Like on Lil Rod, at some point he took Lil Rod's phone and recorded himself doing some of these things. So Lil Rod has hours, not just like he has apparently he has like hundreds of hours of footage that is going to be used as evidence. So, when I think about this, I think of it sort of like, like when serial killers, when they go about their sprees for long enough, they start leaving behind certain clues. They start leaving certain clues behind, so police can actually follow it or whatever. And there's also that infamy to say that if a person is killed a certain way, or if something is found around a dead person's body, then it has to be like a particular person. I feel like, so according to psychology,
like, what is it? Is it
they-
the conscious, or what is it?
no, apparently they do that for, I think, for the fame of it, because they actually
Okay.
want people to know that it is them. But at the same time, they do not necessarily want to get caught. They don't want to go to prison for it, but they want people to know that it is them. So there's an element of a fame that they're looking for. So I feel like, in a sense, that is what Diddy was doing, recording himself doing some of these things. Because someone who's ashamed about what they're doing, someone who does not want people to know what they're doing, they'll make sure that nothing
There's
is
no
recorded.
evidence.
They make sure that there is no evidence at all. But for some reason, Diddy left trails of evidence, because he literally hired people working for him without doing like background checks or whatever. And these are people who will sell any piece of information for money, like sex workers, for instance. Like what he would do as far as getting sex workers to come to his house. There's actually like I think it's a strip club or whatever. And ironically enough, the beef between Future and Drake is because of a woman that works at a strip club, that or of that particular strip club, basically. But yeah, like he would have someone, and actually at some point he had Dilrod go and recruit some sex workers as well. And how we would do it is that he would give Lil Rod a bad boy cap, and he was supposed to wear that, go into that strip club, and if he walks in there wearing that hat, then they know that Diddy is in town, and they know that he's looking for women. That when they knock off, they get in the bus and go with whoever was there to pick them up.
There's no way, guys. Is Diddy okay? Hey,
like Diddy is really messed
No,
up.
guys.
Like there's nothing normal about
he's
that
not
guy anymore.
okay.
There's nothing normal about that guy anymore.
That's some crazy behavior, Manelisi. You can't be doing that
Nah,
as
it's
a normal,
not.
sane human being.
No ways. No ways.
Wow.
And the thing is, like I say, Gucci, in some ways I feel like he wanted to get caught.
Yeah.
He would pay some of these women electronically. Now, when you pay someone electronically, obviously there's a paper trail.
Digital footprint. That's literally it right now.
Yeah.
Digital footprint. Everything is there.
Yeah, like there's a paper trail, and you don't even need to, like in such a case, whoever was getting paid, they don't even need to submit it to the police. The police can just summon those bank records and say, you see, they go straight to the bank, show them whatever documentation that they want to show them, and say that we want the bank records of this person or this account number, whatever, and that's it. They're going to get that as evidence. No one needs to submit that personally. So yeah, Diddy just created a huge mess for himself. It's been what, a lot of years, because
And you know
Usher
what?
himself.
Having all of this money and still not being able to save yourself. Because at this point, even if he would be able to bribe certain people, this case is being watched by the entire world. You know, there are cases where it's just like a country thing or a county thing or a state thing. It's like, okay, I can buy this, and yes, people are gonna talk for like 2-3 weeks, but then it's gonna die down.
Yeah.
This one here, it's no, we need to see this man in prison, and it's
Yeah.
going to be a thing until people see him in prison.
Yeah, like
People are gonna complain.
at this point, a bribe to anyone will just be like throwing money in the toilet, throwing money down the drain, because no amount of money is going to make this thing go away. And I don't think anyone in law enforcement will want to touch this unless it is to take Diddy down. But if it is to fight for him, no one is going to touch that money. No one is touching Diddy. So yeah, it's one for the ages. It's pretty much what Cat Williams said, that this year a lot of things are going to be exposed. Yeah. And you mentioned Diddy by name.
Yeah, guys, he said it. He did actually.
Yeah, mentioned Diddy by name, that a lot of lies, a lot of things are going to be exposed this year. And we are seeing it right now.
And they should.
Yeah.
And they should. Because also I think it's this thing of people always idolize this celebrity. They want to live like them, they want to be them and whatnot. But you don't know what it is they do to live the life they live.
Yeah.
We always grew up hearing in the Illuminati, but that is nothing compared to what's going on right now. It is nothing. Right now, lies. The people's lives are like, how hurt everyone was when they found out that hairstyle that Cassie had those years ago. It wasn't because she wanted to have it and pulled her hair.
Yeah, it's because Diddy wanted her to have it.
I'm just like, nah. So whatever it is that happens to him afterwards,
yeah. Yeah, because apparently it's Diddy that was also behind Biggie and Pac's deaths. So, so even that, and there's also a lady that he used to date. Yeah, like there's also a lady called Kim Porter that used to date Diddy. Apparently, he's also responsible for a death. There are a number of people.
Who's
that
the one that they said that Jay-Z is responsible for her death? That Jay-Z got her pregnant around the same time he was pregnant with Blue
Ivy. Yeah, I think it's Kathy.
Also died apparently.
Yeah, Kathy something.
Kathy something.
Yeah. Yeah. So apparently now her story is also going to come up. Jay-Z also might be in trouble. Yeah, we don't know. We don't know. Because for the Jay-Z thing, I think it's only a matter of time also if there's any truth to it. I feel like it's only a matter of time before anything comes out from that.
I know, but guys, it's a lot. And it's only March.
It's only March, only the third month of the year.
It's only March. Only March. And this year is just proving to be a movie.
Yeah. 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 But
I feel like Diddy just aged overnight.
Yeah, no. I mean, with things like this.
The video from yesterday, he aged.
Yeah, that like it's really, really stressful. Like it's really, really stressful on him. Which is good, I guess, in a way, because it just shows it's also proof of what is being said, in a sense.
Yes.
Yeah, it's also proof of what is being said, and a lot is being exposed as it should be.
I'm sure right now the people sitting there just shaking in their boots. A lot.
A lot of people.
Because a lot, guys.
Yeah, a lot of
people. The thing of he's not, because they're scared of he's not gonna go down by himself.
Yeah, and that's the thing. A lot of
people are going to get exposed.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's a matter of whether Diddy lives long enough to. Okay, first of all, if it does get caught, whether or not it does get caught, and secondly, if he lives long enough for the police or for the state to get anything out of him. Otherwise, he might just pull another Jeffrey Epstein, where we are now going to say that Diddy didn't kill himself, type thing.
Yeah, I thought about that earlier today. I'm just like, it might be that.
Yeah.
It might be that, because it's just like, I'm not going to prison, also I'm not bringing down the people I was doing this thing with. So I didn't stop it, but then I should be saying, dang, so because it could either it could literally either go to jail, kill himself, or get killed.
Yeah.
Because when when things of this magnitude are happening, it's a thing of I'd rather we lose one person than all of us lose our lives. So that we kill him, everybody else, that's
Yeah.
his life instead.
Yeah. But I feel like also like for him dying,
A lot.
it is not going to help a lot of people because there is a lot of footage that exists. There is a lot of paper trails that exist. There is too many people that are involved for this thing to be quiet. Like there's going to be people definitely are going to be exposed. I mean, so much so that there's people who might not be charged for anything in particular, but the mere
And we are
association
here for
and
it.
the mere presence
Not
of
that we
them
deserve
in
a
some of
great
these
Netflix
things and being
special.
seen doing certain things is
A
just going to
good 2
bring
hours, 2 hours
this whole
Netflix
thing
special.
crashing down. It's going to crash a lot of lives.
And we watch it as the world at the same time, guys. All of us. We're not waiting for anyone. We watch it at the same time. When we're done, speak about it.
Yeah, we really do. Yeah, we really do. And,
Yeah,
yeah.
true.
Yeah, but with the way that Diddy's story is, I think it might be it might need like 6 hours. Might be a three-part thing, 2 hours each. Yeah, because it's quite a lot. It's a long and illustrious career, and there's a lot of dirt that needs to be dug up. Because, for instance, it wasn't it wasn't until after the whole Cassie thing where Diddy eventually
Yes.
gave Mace and Lil Kim pretty much all the bad boy artists, it, that it gave them their masters. Like Mace, for instance, was fighting for years to get his masters. Yeah, even offered money to buy those masters, but Diddy just said no. But for some reason, after the whole Cassie thing, he just decided that, no, what, here are your masters for free. Notorious B.I.G.'s mother also has never had ownership of Biggie's masters as well. So Diddy has been making money from all those records, but Biggie's mom hasn't been making, or rather getting, the money that she was supposed to get. I mean, obviously
What
for
a
PR
raw human being.
purposes,
Guys,
whatever,
surviving P.
an
Diddy is a
image
serious
thing,
thing.
he
I think
might
I
have been
saw something
sending
on. I
some
meant to
money
start it
to
today actually, but I
Biggie's
didn't get a
mom,
chance. I think it's on
but
YouTube.
she never
I
really
saw something
owned.
about surviving P.
She's never
Diddy, so I
owned
want to watch
any of
that
the
because
masters
apparently it's bad.
like she was
Like so
supposed
many
to.
people are coming out complaining, people are crying, and I'm just like, all because of one person.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah,
for years. Yeah.
yeah, and yeah, and the whole thing about Diddy is not like it's nothing new. It's not something that just started recently. It's been talked about for years.
Yeah.
I think it was Jaguar. I actually sent you some of those videos that I found on TikTok. I think it was last year or so, from a woman called Jaguar Wright. Jaguar Wright has been talking about Diddy. She has been talking about Jay-Z and a lot of the people in the industry, talking about how
Yeah.
they've killed careers, how they've taken lives, and all those things. So yeah, Jaguar Wright is being proven right
A lot of people need to be exposed.
about the things that she's been saying. Yeah, so yeah, there's a lot that we're going to see happen this year. There's a lot that's going to be exposed. Yeah. Yeah. Like I feel like the world needs, or rather the entertainment industry as a whole, it needs a proper reset where the people who are deserving to be in the limelight get there. the people deserving, people who have lost themselves and have lost their careers because they wouldn't associate themselves with certain people, or they wouldn't give themselves in a certain way to certain people. I think that now's the time where they get everything back. I mean, not everyone might be famous again. Obviously, when time is gone, it's gone. But hopefully, they get something out of
next
these
week
entire
we'll hear
situations.
something new. Guys.
Yeah,
Now
it's
I'm all
it's
good.
just crazy.
I feel like we've been at it, Sean.
Yeah.
Even our batteries complaining.
Yeah,
100%.
definitely.
Wow.
Definitely. But yeah. Anyway, that is all from me. I don't know if you have anything else.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, because yeah, yeah, it's almost 2 hours now. It's more than 2 hours actually. Yeah, but anyway, that is all from us. Yeah, that's all from us, the Oracles. We will be back again. Actually, shout out also to all our new subscribers. I know that from some of you, you've subscribed like a couple of weeks ago and we haven't had anything new. Okay, I just lost Z there. But yeah, shout out to every one of you. Thank you very much for your support. Thank you very much for your love. We will be back again next week for something brand new, and hopefully this time around we will have a guest for you. Until then, have a wonderful time. Until next week, cheers.